Hello, my name is
Hello.
Ceezy.
Ceezy, where
What's
are
your
you
name?
from?
Estados Unidos.
I'm Lara. I'm a
Lara.
reporter.
Baiana?
Baiana.
Oh.
Ah.
What does Salvador culture mean to you?
Is musicians.
Yeah.
Is history. We have a strong history from Africa, and people all the time smile. We
Yeah.
love to meet other people and come to Bahia.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Obrigado. YouTube, what's the vibe? Global Ceezy back in here today. Last day in Salvador. Last morning to be exact. It's like 9 a.m. Look like the tourist is out. And today, I'm gonna discuss my final thoughts on Salvador, Bahia. Alright, we're gonna do a little walkthrough vibe instead of me just talking to the camera. If you've never been to Salvador, this is the blackest city in Brazil, or the blackest state in Brazil, which is Bahia. As you can see, artifacts, African culture, Jamaican culture everywhere. A lot of tourists here, which is surprising to me. I see more tourists here than I see in like Rio, you know, but I feel like this is more historical and geared towards tourists and cultural than some of the landmarks in Rio. And first things first, a lot of people say as a black person you'll feel at home here in Salvador. You'll feel like you fit in, you'll feel like you're a local. And I will say, that is kind of true. That is kind of true, except like I said, the way you dress, the places you eat at, you know, the places you go, just the way you walk. That's what my boy told me. Like, I asked him, how did you know I was a gringo? He's like, the way you walk, you feel me? So this is something I say a lot in my Latin America videos. Like, just the way you walk. In third world countries, they can tell you're not from there, because people here have a certain walk, a certain like aggression, a certain relaxedness too. So they can tell you're not from here by how you walk, how you look around, the places you're at as a black man. Because even though this is the blackest city, black is not like, it's not a black country. Brazil is not a black country. So most of these black people here, they're not upper class, especially dark-skinned African looking people. They don't have much money, you know? Like if you go outside of this little tourist area and you go into the real neighborhoods of this state, you're gonna see it looks just like Africa. You're gonna see a lot of dirt roads. You're gonna see a lot of poverty. You're gonna see a lot of inequality, you know? And some people would say here is even more racist than Rio. I feel like Rio is more segregated rather than just straight racism. Here it's like integrated, it's mixed, but like, you know, there's a hierarchy. In Rio it's like there's rich people and then there's poor people. Here, I feel like it's more colorized. It's more colorism here. Because there's a lot of mixed people here in Salvador. But it's not like, someone said it's not how you think, like in America or UK, where it's happy white and black couples. No, this is like, they mix to better the race, you feel me? It's not what you think, like, oh, happy interracial couples. People are trying to get rid of blackness, get rid of the Africanism. So here you're gonna see like the most light-skinned and mixed race people, interracial people. In Rio you see it too. Here you're gonna see it even more. Like, most people are light-skinned. So even though this is the blackest city in Brazil, most people are like half black or a little drop of black, you know? But for me, what I like about here is like the music culture. Since I've been here, every day has been a festival. And these festivals is huge. Carnival originated here, so carnival time right now. Every day has been crazy, like a little too much for me. I ain't gonna lie. I thought carnival was gonna be lit, cool, but it's too much for me. I don't even like Caribbean carnival, so here it's even worse. Like, they wild out. at least 10,000 people on one block, and they start in morning all the way till night, you feel me? And they just jumping around, hot all day. People drunk, pushing into you, acting savage and crazy and doing the most. So if you like that type of vibe, you like being around a lot of people, it's a perfect place for you. I know Rio's Carnival's fire too, but here is like the original, you know? Here they play the samba all day, all night. You can hear the bass coming through my apartment. I live at the bottom of like all of this, and they do it all through here, through the beach, wherever. But another thing I realized about here too, a lot of people, they represent the Jamaica flag and like the Rasta flag more than the Brazil flag. I've barely seen the Brazil flag out here, you know? I actually went to a favela to get a haircut like my first week here, and I was wearing these shorts and a red shoes. And then my barber, he was laughing, he's like, yo, we don't wear that out here. He's saying, yo, get you some flip-flops and stop wearing these shorts. I didn't understand why, but I guess it's something like political. I don't know. But the fact that I'm Jamaican and I see that they resonate with the Jamaican culture, the Rastafari culture, and those things stand for like black freedom and black power, and those flags are built on black people and black unity and black strength. So I guess they resonate with that out here. You'll hear reggae music a lot out here. You'll see a lot of Rastafaris and a lot of people that literally represent Jamaica and the culture. Like there's a lot of people out here, you couldn't even tell them they're not Jamaican. And I actually met a Jamaican dude in the deli. He just looked at me, he was like, you from Jamaica, aren't you? I was like, yeah. Then he dapped me up, smiling and shit. He was happy as hell. And I was like, how the hell did he get here? You feel me? But the thing about here, I guess it's like a safe haven for black people escaping all over the world. There's a lot of African people here, a lot of black people, a lot of Jamaican people, probably some Haitians here, you know? So that's one thing I noticed as well. I hear people with African accents. I seen black Americans here. They look like they live in here, like black women. So that's another thing. And the thing here too, the last thing they'll expect you to be from is America as a black person. You feel me? So a woman actually told me the other day in a deli, she was like, you speak English? You feel me? Because I didn't speak Portuguese. They could tell, like when I start speaking, they can tell I'm not from here. But they don't expect me to speak English. So they're just wondering, what the hell does he speak? Maybe African, but they don't expect English. And they told me like, black Americans don't come here, they don't see us like that. You feel me? So a lot of people don't even know that black people around the world speak English. They don't know that black people around the world exist in America. Even Jamaica, they be asking me what language do they speak in Jamaica. So it's like they know the music, they know the culture, but they don't like know the language, you know? And that's another thing. I can't blame them for that. Because before coming to Brazil and started doing research and figuring out there's black people here, I did not know there was black people in Brazil. I didn't know they were black. I didn't know there was a huge black population. I didn't know there was a black city like here. You feel me? So that's another thing. You can't blame people for being ignorant when the knowledge is not getting across. That's why it takes for me to bridge the gap. And every time I post one a video from Salvador, people comment like they didn't know this was in Brazil. And then there's also some smartasses that say, oh, everybody knows there's black people in Brazil. Everybody's black in Brazil. That's not even true. Brazil is a white country. Brazil is a huge country, bigger than the size of the continental US. There's more white states in Brazil than black. And another thing I learned here as well. In Salvador, Brazil, I could say the whole Brazil, but Salvador to be specific, there's a black person here that looks like every black person you know across the world. Every black person across the world got somebody in Salvador, Brazil that look exactly like them. And that's a fact. Whether you're light skinned, whether you're French, whether you from Africa, whether you're from America, there is somebody in Brazil that looks exactly like you as a black man. It's kind of crazy, but If you think about it, it's not that crazy. There's 55 million black people in this country, which is the most out of anywhere in the world outside of Africa. And a lot of mixing here, so there's a lot of people that look light-skinned, there's a lot of people that look indigenous, but they all black. So I've seen people that look exactly like me, I've seen people that look exactly like people I know. And it's kind of crazy here when you think about it, but it's not surprising. Hola. ¿Cuánto costó? 25.
Y esta 12.
Obrigado. She taxing for that shit. $5? I can get that for $2. But yeah, here in Salvador, there's a long history. You know, this is like where the first slaves was brought. Sí. Jamaica. Yeah. Sí. 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 No quiero. Obrigado. See? But yeah, this is one of the main slave ports. Right here as we speak. This is one of the main slave ports of the world in history for Africans. And you can see a lot of the African culture here as the music, the samba. A lot of the food here is African, like the street food, acarajé, comes straight from Africa. You know, the beautiful people here, a lot of them represent the African roots, the African culture, you know. I heard here it's very similar to Angola, which is another Portuguese-speaking country in Africa, which is like right across from here. On the map, you know, everywhere you look, you're gonna see women braiding here, just like Cartagena, you know, which stems from African culture as well. But all right, now we get into the poverty and the danger here. Here is known as the most dangerous city in Brazil, all of Brazil. And I think it's like the 4th largest city in the country. I don't know if that's really how it is, because there's a lot of dangerous cities in Brazil. You know, there's a lot of favelas in Brazil. There's a lot of crime in Brazil. I don't know if they say that because it's the most black and, you know, it's a little racist here in this country. But I felt more in danger in Rio de Janeiro than here. I ain't gonna lie. Maybe it's because I'm a black man. I fit in a little more. A lot of people think I'm Salvadorian or Baiano. I felt more in danger in Rio, especially in like the upper class parts in Rio. But here, I do feel like there's danger. Like I witnessed 2 white dudes get robbed, 2 white gay Brazilian dudes get robbed in Rio Vermelho the other night for their chain. But I didn't feel like it was on danger timing, you know? But also we are in the city, which is a historical part. So I know like it's a little toned down, but if you go to them favelas around here, it's probably a little more dangerous, a little more treacherous, a little more savage. As we all know, black on black crime is very prevalent in black areas. But you gotta understand that people here are very poor. And here, a lot of black Brazilians are uneducated. If you can look around, you can see how the buildings look. You can just see how the city looks. And a lot of this stuff has been renovated over by the city. And this is not no poor area, so like just the look of the buildings and just the look of the poverty and the homeless people on the streets can tell you a lot about what the actual neighborhoods where residential people live. But also I want y'all to know that just like Rio, there's a lot of areas where it's suburban, where it's clean, where there's malls, highways, you know. It's a beautiful city, actually. It's not all dangerous, it's not all torn down, but when you get into them residential neighborhoods where these people actually live, where the tour guides actually live, it's a different life. There's favelas everywhere, just like Rio. We in a nice neighborhood like this, you take a left turn, you're gonna see straight poverty, you're gonna see people sleeping on the streets. You don't see people starving in the hot sun. But yeah, that's Brazil. And this is known as one of the forgotten states of Brazil, the forgotten people of Brazil. So it's a lot of wealth disparity here. There's not a lot of opportunity here. And don't get me wrong, there is a lot of drugs and like violence and gang activity as well. So we're not gonna act like that doesn't go on. Even around here, some days you'll just see the whole hood outside partying. You'll see dudes ganged up, dudes clicked up, like any black hood in the world. Outlaw culture, F the police culture. And me as a black man, sometimes I'll get dirty looks from black men. You know, just like the hood. Black men will look at you crazy. That's mainly the young crowd though, like young black men. You know, they got a little more ego, they're a little more neglected by society here. So as a young black man, being here, I realized a young black man is at the bottom, you know? The most neglected, the most disrespected, the most forgotten here. So when I'm not from here and they hear me speaking English, it's like their energy changes towards me. People's energy changes toward me. But I will say, I have to code switch often in Brazil. Like when I'm in the streets, when I'm walking around, when I'm around other black young men like me, I gotta move like I'm from here. But then when I'm in restaurants and stuff, they look at me like a local. So I also have to play dumb and speak a little English so they know that I'm not a criminal. They know that I'm not broke. They know that I'm not in a gang. So out here I gotta dress like I'm from the streets, you know, sandals and whatever but I also gotta play dumb and speak English. So I'm not like, you know, disrespected and looked at like the outcast. So it's a little tricky here as a young black man. And that's the reason why I wouldn't live here. That's a big thing in Brazil, classism. So as a young black man like me, I don't fit into either class. So I could never live in Brazil as a young black man. Maybe in the future, who knows, it'll change. But I don't see myself living here. But mind you, there are smart black people. There are some black people that come from money. There's a lot of college students here. But they look at me, they don't see that. But yeah, overall, Salvador, Brazil, fire city, like one of the best cities. It really opened my eyes a lot to the world and just history and black culture. Here, it was like a spiritual awakening, like wisdom, you know? A lot of people come here for the beautiful women, but like for me, it was deeper than that. It was a deep awakening here. Just the culture, just realizing how all black people mostly come from the same source. Realizing how they keep the culture alive here. Hola. ¿Cuánto custa? 10.
Esse 5.
¿Puedo probar? Por favor. Cartão, sim? But yeah, would I come back here? I would. The nightlife is crazy here, but also like there's a lot of islands here I'd want to visit. You know, there's a lot of cities here in this country. There's a lot of cities in this state that I would visit as well. You know, but my first time I kind of stuck to like the tourist little areas, the local little areas. I feel like there's a lot to uncover in these places. I feel like there's way more to learn. I feel like I've only scratched the surface as far as just the social aspects here and the history here. I feel like there was a lot left unsaid. I feel like there's a lot of stories that I need to hear. And one thing about Brazil in general, as I'm leaving Brazil, it's really like, there's a lot of shit you're gonna see that you didn't want to see. There's a lot of uncomfortable truths here. There's a lot of stories that you're gonna hear here that might turn your stomach a little bit, but it's part of life. It's gonna let you I feel like Brazil opened me up to like more world travel. You know, I learned a little Portuguese, so I can find some new Portuguese countries to go to. Buenas. I feel like Brazil, for me, especially this city, is the gateway to me going to Africa. You know? I should interview her. But yeah, here is like mini Africa. But yeah, that's my opinion on Salvador, Brazil. I do recommend it for all black people. You feel me? When I first got here and they said that, I was like, but then I really like let it sink in spiritually, and I definitely agree. Black people should come here, understand this culture, understand Brazil in general, because it's a deep place. It's a spiritual place, you know? But hey, Global Ceezy, we out. Bow. Hold on, I'm gonna get her on the interview.
How can you communicate? How can you communicate? How do you do?
By hand.
With hands.
Yeah.
Where are you from? Indonesia. Okay. Could you please write your name here just for Indonesia? Just one name, yes, one name and other name and your occupation. If you and the other name, just swim. In your work, are you speaking? No, in the we have enjoy our city.
Hola, can I ask you a question?
Yes.
You speak English?
Yes.
Hello, my name is Ceezy.
Ceezy,
What's
where are
your
you
name?
from?
Estados Unidos.
I'm Lara. I'm a
Lara.
reporter.
Baiana?
Baiana.
Oh.
Ah.
What does Salvador culture mean to you?
Salvador clothes.
Culture.
Culture.
Yes.
Is musicians.
Yeah.
Is history. We have a strong history from Africa, and people all the time smile. We love to meet other people and come to Bahia.
Okay.
Bye bye.
Obrigado. They're playing some reggae music right now. Papi, ¿qué significa este?
Esse aqui?
Sim.
Tupinambá. É ponta de lança.
Oh, vale.
É tribo brasileira.
¿Mi?
Brasília Tribal.
Oh, sí. Este es música jamaica.
É.
Sí, es mi país. Sí. Obrigado. Sí.
Brasília, África, Brasília.
Sí. Love.
Márcio Drag oficial.
Love, love.
Márcio Drag oficial.
Sí.
Chega lá que a gente conversa.
Vale. Sí.
África deixa Bahia.
Yes, sir.
Came up out of dirty part, man. How the fuck I made it out the friends? I don't do no wifey, don't do friends.